In the next couple of minutes, I'm gonna rank every single online side hustle that I've personally tried. And I can guarantee you and assure you that I've actually tried it because 2 years ago when I first started this journey working in a warehouse and being in university, I dedicated my precious time and thousands of dollars trying to figure this whole thing out, hoping that it works. And trust me, this wasn't like a side hustle that I did for like a few days. These are side hustles that I tried for months and didn't succeed. Hence why it took me so long to get to where I am right now, making $5K per month passively, being able to provide for my parents and travel the world. That being said, bring on your pen and paper and take some notes because I genuinely wish that I had a video like this 2 years ago when I first got started. I would have probably saved myself so much time and so much money. So let's begin with the most common online business that every single guru online is preaching to you right now. Dropshipping. Dropshipping has to be the most overrated, oversaturated, and most spoken about business model online right now. You've probably seen all these gurus probably chilling in Bali, sipping on a cocktail, telling you that you can make passive income with dropshipping. But let's break it down. Even though the barrier to entry with dropshipping is relatively low, the competition and saturation in dropshipping is extremely fierce. There's so much competition and saturation in the dropshipping world that the only way to stay ahead of the competition or stand out a bit is by undercutting your prices, which in other words decreases your profit margins and kind of make you lose value, if that makes sense. And what a lot of these gurus won't tell you is that you can make 10K in a day, 100K in a day, which is great, but the profit margins are extremely low compared to other business models. Let's say, for example, that you would have spent thousands on ads, you would have spent so much time setting up the store and doing all this crazy stuff, and you make 10K in a day, which is great. But the only thing is that the profit that you're making, the dollars that you're keeping in your pocket is only about 2K. So you, out of the $10,000 that you made, you only bring it back home like around 2 to 3K, sometimes 4K if you're lucky and you're good with your prices. So in all honesty, a lot of people are flexing like 10K days, 20K days, but they're not bringing in much money back home. The worst thing about dropshipping is that it has a bunch of physical product logistic issues. So anything in regards to returns, shippings, the timing, the suppliers, the inventory, and all this crazy stuff, it is true that you don't have to technically touch the product, but this is still affecting your business. And you can have one bad relationship with the supplier or one return or one shipping issue and your entire store is done. On top of that, you could be great with marketing, right? You could have spent like 3K on ads, you're getting a bunch of sales and that's great. But the moment you start getting some bad reviews, some returns, some shipping delays, your entire store is cooked once again. And these problems is not the supplier's problem, these are your problems. Once again, decreasing your profit margins and even potentially getting you in debt. Now I gotta slow down a bit because dropshipping can still work and a lot of people have become millionaires with it right now. It didn't work for me, but that doesn't mean that it's not gonna work for you, right? It still has some very good sides of it. Like for example, it's scalability. Dropshipping is great in terms of scalability because technically you're not touching or handling the inventory or the logistics of the product, which is great. And if you ever make some good amount of money, you can either reinvest that back into ads or getting a team to delegate certain tasks, which in other words is the core of a true business. And also another good thing that is great about dropshipping is that it's pretty popular. So you don't necessarily need to invest into a course to learn about it because there's so many videos out there of people giving out all the sauce, all the strategies, and all the information on how to actually get started with dropshipping, whether it be organic way or the regular standard way. So just because there's a wide variety of information out there, is pretty popular, you can still scale it up and it's a great business model in and of itself. Kinda, I'm gonna give it B tier. Now let's move on and talk about affiliate marketing. Now affiliate marketing is a great business model for beginners. It's how I actually made my first few $1,000s online passively. Now affiliate marketing is a bit different compared to dropshipping, for example. In affiliate marketing, essentially you're selling or promoting somebody else's product, and whenever somebody buys from your unique affiliate link, you make a commission off every sale. So if you sell a physical product for $100 and you have a 30% commission, whenever somebody buys through your link, you make about $30. And in all honesty, it's a great business model, but let's dive deep. The downside of affiliate marketing, similar to dropshipping, you need a lot of money to get started. If you're not gonna do it the hybrid way, you need a good amount of money to actually spend on ads. The traditional way of making sales with affiliate marketing is through websites /SEO/blogs, articles, or on YouTube. For most cases, you're selling a physical product, whether it be from Amazon or any other platform. And once again, because these physical products tend to be pretty affordable, your commission rates aren't pretty high. So if you're selling a product for $10 and you get like a 3% commission, you aren't making much money. The competition in the affiliate marketing space is extremely fierce because almost everybody is selling the same product, which makes it hard for you to stand out. But if you're actually going the organic way, you're just gonna start a personal brand and you're selling somebody else's product, conversion rates tend to be a bit lower because it's not your own product and your face is on it. If you don't have a strong level of trust with your audience, whether it be through an email list or even with organic content naturally, it's going to be very hard for you to actually convert, especially if it's not your product. Affiliate marketing can still work in 2025, but you need to take a very unique approach to it, just like I used to do before. Instead of setting up these websites and SEO and articles and ads and all this crazy stuff, instead you use social media and build an audience organically that way by interacting with your audience in the DMs or building an email list. Another thing that you can do, instead of selling a physical product, you sell a high-ticket digital product. So if you were to sell a product for $1,000, let's say a high-ticket coaching for $1,000, and you have a commission rate of about 20%, you're making around $200 per sale, which is not that bad. So essentially the upsides or the advantages of affiliate marketing is that once you have the right systems in place and you have everything set up, it can become a passive income machine. For those 7 to 9 months that I tried affiliate marketing and I made my first few $1,000s, I made them 90% of the time while I was just chilling. The content is already there. You've probably already automated the systems with the emails. The product is digital, so you don't have to worry about shipping and all that crazy stuff. So everything kind of runs on autopilot once you have the right systems in place. So affiliate marketing, in all honesty, is one of the best business models to start off as a beginner because you technically don't need much money upfront if you're going to go the organic route. You don't need a team, you don't need a huge audience either to be able to convert. You don't need to worry about the physical logistics because it's not even your own product. So it's pretty simple and easy to understand as long as you stay consistent and you put in the work over time. So once again, overall, affiliate marketing is a low-cost, high-potential business model that as long as you're doing things the right way and you have the right systems in place, you can easily make your first few $1,000s online passively. So if you're a beginner, you don't want to necessarily have to deal with your own products, your own business and all this crazy stuff, you should definitely give this a shot, and I'm going to put it in A tier. Alright, now we are getting into the wild west of making money online. Meme coins. Meme coins have been getting an insane amount of popularity these past few months, especially since Donald Trump became president. And you can see that with coins such as Dogecoin or Shiba Inu over time, even Pepe, we've seen how meme coins can literally become a life-changing opportunity for some people. But the only thing is, it's not as easy as it seems. So first, let's talk about the volatility. Of course, meme coins are crypto coins, so it is extremely volatile. It can go to 10x in a single day, but it can also crash in a matter of minutes. I personally did crypto for quite some time and I lost all of my cash in 5 minutes, which is absolutely insane to say out loud. Because if you think about it, one narrative or one tweet by Elon Musk can either 10x your coin or literally drop it to zero or in the negative. So it's more like a gambling type of thing than investing. Another thing that comes to mind is the scam. There are a lot of rug pulls, there are a lot of scammers in the crypto world, and you need to be careful. If you're not doing your proper research, if you're not having this calculated risk, you're actually going to be losing a lot of money in the crypto space. You can be hyped about a narrative and you put in a few dollars here and there, and then the whole thing can be gone in a blink of an eye because of scams. So be careful. And another thing that came to my mind about these meme coins is that unlike established cryptocurrencies like BTC, Ethereum, Solana, they don't really serve a purpose, so they don't really have any utility, right? These are just memes and trends and hypes for the people, and you gotta come in quick and come out right away in a matter of a few minutes even. And now I can't lie, one of the biggest upsides and advantages of the whole meme coin space is that this is basically a big casino, so you can become a millionaire or make 6 figures in a matter of a few minutes or hours. So the gambling skills on this is absolutely insane, but if I have to rank it, I'm gonna give it an F tier. Please be careful if you're gonna get into meme coins. Now let's talk about another popular one out there, copywriting. I personally tried copywriting for a few months, and in all honesty, if I really wanted to make it work, I probably should have put in a bit more time, a bit more effort. But if you really think about it, if you really deep it, it's not the best business model for beginners. Now copywriting in and of itself is a great skill to have because you need to be creative. It's another form of sales, it's persuasion. You're technically writing a few emails and making thousands of dollars on the back end. It's great. But the only thing is that these gurus are pushing this narrative and this idea that you can just work for a few hours, write a few emails, get a few clients, and then you're making $10K per month by just writing a few texts on a computer, which sounds great, but it's not the reality. Copywriting in and of itself is a great skill to have, and I'm not against it. But the biggest hurdle, the biggest challenge that happened to me, and this also applies to anybody doing SMMA, is the client acquisition method. You need to do a bunch of cold DMing, cold calling, and cold emailing, which in all honesty is a waste of time. When I was doing cold outreach, I need to first spend hours doing a bunch of research, trying to find some sort of personalization in the email to send it or in the DMs. And then on top of that, I had like a 95% chance of them not even seeing the message or even answering me, because for the simple reason that they don't know me, they don't like me, and they don't trust me. And sales only happen when there are these three factors. This is the main reason why I have so many copywriters in my DMs complaining of the fact that they've been doing all this research, reaching out to so many people, but they can't get any clients. But it's for the simple fact that cold outreach doesn't work 100%. Not saying that it doesn't work, you can still get a good amount of success with it if you're good at it and if you maybe automate certain things here and there. But cold outreach in and of itself, like you sitting down on your computer for hours doing research and sending out personalized emails, is really just a waste of time. Because if you really were to take that same amount of time and put it into content or ads, people come to you instead of you having to chase them. And something that is also very sad is that AI now is part of the game. You can either use AI to enhance your copywriting skill, or business owners are just going to undervalue you even more for the simple fact that they can just use AI. So if you don't have some sort of substacking skill with copywriting, whether that be landing pages or ads or content scripts, or you know how to increase deliverability rates and things of that nature that happen on the back end that are way more valuable than just writing emails, maybe you can stand out a bit more and make a bit more money. In all honesty, if I ever have to give any advice to my past self when I was getting started with copywriting, is that don't spend any time or energy and effort doing a bunch of cold outreach and research. Spend more time using your copywriting skill with content, and then start creating your own email list, start building your own audience. And if you're actually good with copywriting, you'll naturally be good at attracting an audience, having high open rates, and you can have an entire system in place, and you can show this to business owners so they can actually see that not only does this work for you, but you can make it work for them as well. But on the flip side, I gotta be honest, copywriting is still a very good skill to have because of persuasion, human psychology, and sales. If you know how to do ad scripts, or you know how to do content scripts for people, or whatever it is in regards to persuasion in and of itself, copywriting can still make you a lot of money as long as you're doing it the right way. There's a huge earning potential. You can work from anywhere in the world, and it only really requires a few hours of work if you're actually very good at the skill of copywriting. So because of the high earning potential, the fact that you don't necessarily need a team, and you have AI now to assist you, I'm gonna give it a good B tier. Next up, let's talk about Forex trading, which I personally did for a few months as well. Now, Forex trading, or just trading overall, is a very popular side hustle because the idea behind it is very simple, right? You just sit down for a few hours, press buy, press sell, you make some cash, and you get out. Great business model. You can work from anywhere in the world, and if you master the skill of trading, you can make a lot of money very quickly. Some people are making huge amounts of money with trading, right? Whether it be 7 figures, 8 figures, 9 figures, only a few hours of work. It's absolutely insane. If you really learn how to master the skill, this can be a money printer. But for most people that are getting started, this is a very high risk, high reward type of game. The major downside of trading is that leverage can work for you just as much as it can work against you. For example, you can control a small amount of money in a deposit, but if the market goes against you, you can lose that small deposit that you made, and the whole thing is gone in a matter of a few minutes. One single bad trade can wipe out your entire account, and that is something that you actually want to avoid when you're beginning. And the harsh truth is that most profitable traders take 2 to 3 years to actually start making good money consistently. So for those 2 to 3 years, they're on the computer for hours looking at charts, studying charts, being super technical and analytical. And on top of that, for 2 to 3 years straight, they're just losing money back to back. And most people are just not up to that, just like it happened to me. I did trading for quite some time, and the simple fact that I had to sit on my computer for hours, study, do all this crazy stuff, and just lose money back to back to back to back is something that I just wasn't willing to pay when there are way better options out there. If you're somebody that is a bit more introverted, a bit more analytical, you like the details, and you're okay with sitting on your computer for hours and studying, you can do that. Trading is definitely good for you. But for somebody like me, that you like interacting with people, you prefer something that is a bit more passive, something that doesn't require as much time and effort, definitely stay away from trading. In all honesty, Forex is generally complex. Like, you need to do a bunch of technical analysis, market analysis, indicators. You have all these crazy risk, economic management, and all this crazy stuff that go into it. And I'm just not up to it. And I highly suggest anybody that is low on cash and doesn't have much time to generally stay away from trading. You can have all the mentors, all the indicators, all the management, all the everything, and there's still a large amount of luck that goes around this entire business. But once again, I gotta be honest, once you've actually mastered the skill, you know how the markets go, and you've been doing this for quite some time, you gain some experience, trading can be a stupid money printer. Yes, you do need to be in front of your computer for a few hours every single day, but you do have some time freedom flexibility where some markets are open 24/7. But because Forex or trading overall has such a steep learning curve, I'm gonna give this a C tier for the simple fact that it just demands a lot of money up front, a lot of time, and if you're somebody that's not really into like the whole technical stuff, you should get away from it. Now let's talk about remote sales, which I actually really like because the skill of sales, once again, just like copywriting, is a very valuable high income skill. Remote sale is one of those business models that's actually very good for beginners because you don't need a team, you're not even selling your own product. All you're doing is taking calls on a weekly basis or on a daily basis, so to say, and you're selling somebody else's high ticket service. So whether it be you're selling on a 10% commission or 5% commission, if you're selling something that is high ticket, you can make $1,000 to $2,000 every single day as long as you're closing the sales. Just like I said earlier, remote sales is a great skill to have because the ability of knowing how sales go and how to actually persuade people into buying with their emotions is a great skill to have. You don't necessarily need a lot of money to get started. You don't need any money to get started because all you're doing is selling somebody else's product. You don't need to create a product, you don't need to manage a team, you don't need to do ads, you don't need to worry about even the fulfillment of the clients. All you're really doing is just selling somebody else's product on their behalf. Now, despite of remote sales being a great business model because you technically have location freedom, financial freedom, you don't have time freedom. You're very dependent on calls. If you have a call scheduled at 5 p.m., you need to be there at 5 p.m. You can't just move around and do what you want and make sales whenever because if you don't show up, if you don't put in the time, you don't get paid. Remote sales can also be a very high pressure, high stress environment. You gotta handle objections every single day. People can be literal dickheads. Some people are mentally slow. You have to handle with rejection every single day, the follow-ups. It can be a very high pressure environment. If you don't have that gut and that heart to actually keep going every single day, despite of the rejections, despite of a losing streak, you're not gonna succeed. For somebody like me that is a huge advocate of the idea of passive income, remote sales didn't really align for the simple fact that not only do I don't have time freedom, I gotta put in work every single day, I gotta handle clients every single day, but also it's not really passive. Another thing that came to my mind in regards to the remote sales space is that it is extremely competitive, and the main way of getting or landing a good sales job is by doing cold outreach, which once again I've spoken about very thoroughly in this video is not the best way of actually landing a good job. There is no trust, they don't like you, they don't know you, and the likelihood of you actually getting a good sales job just off doing cold outreach and cold DMing is just not the best strategy. On top of that, the amount of high ticket, good quality offers, there aren't much of them. So you have a bunch of setters and a bunch of closers that want to go to the high ticket stuff and get the high ticket offers, but there's only a small amount of offers actually. I've heard from fellow business owners that it is actually kind of hard to find a good quality, high quality closer because so many people are just going through this course and they feel like they can close deals, but they don't have the experience, which is another thing that I got to talk about. A lot of people are buying these courses and academies about closing. They kind of get the skill, but then they don't have the experience to actually back it up. So when you're doing a bunch of cold DMing or cold calling, your chances of actually landing a role or landing the job is extremely low. So yes, high ticket closing, remote sales, it is a great skill to have. You can start off as a setter, make a few sales here and there, and then rank up as a closer. But then once again, you're not selling your own product, so your profit margins aren't the highest because you're making money off commissions. If you're selling something high ticket for something for 6K, 10K or more, then great. But the chances of you actually getting a job that is actually an offer of 6K, 10K or more as a remote sales rep is very, very low. So yeah, you could be making $1,000, $2,000 every single day, but it is extremely difficult and there is a lot of competition. And just like I said before, there is no time freedom. Based on my own experience and what I've seen in the industry, I would give remote sales a C tier category. And lastly, let's talk about the most underrated and undersaturated business model of 2025 called digital synthesis. Personally, after trying all of these business models and putting in so much time and energy and actually getting into debt with all these business models, I came up with digital synthesis, which is an accumulation of all the good things and advantages and pros of all the other business models put into one. You might be asking yourself right now, bro, what the heck is digital synthesis? Where did this shit come from? How does it work? How do I get started? Let me explain. Everything that you want to know about digital synthesis is in this video right here. I'm going to tag it in the video right now. Check it out, take your time. But what I'm going to do right now is kind of give you a very broad explanation of all the good sides and advantages, but also the downsides of it, because I have to be honest. Now, the first thing that makes digital synthesis so unique and one of the key advantages of it is passive income. As long as you set up the right automations, you have the right content in place, and you even add some ads on there, you can make money 24/7. I've waken up sometimes from naps literally and I made a sale, or I was working out and I made a sale, or I'm chilling with my girlfriend and I made a sale. And that is the power of digital synthesis. As long as you have the right systems in place, the right content in place, you can easily make passive income every single week. Unlike dropshipping or trading or affiliate marketing, you don't need a lot of money to get started. Heck, you can start this entire business with $0. And if you ever were to invest in a business, $5 to $10 a day is more than enough, which really isn't a lot of money compared to spending $3,000 on ads with dropshipping, for example. So if you're low on cash and you don't have much time either, this is great because not only are we using AI to automate the entire process, but you don't have to get on sales calls like with remote sales, for example, which takes so much of your time every single day. Everything is on autopilot and all you need to do is post content, make sure that you interact with your audience on a weekly basis, and there's no reason for you to not succeed with this. For those of you that think that going viral or content creation is like some crazy luck type of thing and that you need like a huge audience, I need to stop you right there. I know a lot of you are probably thinking right now that you need to show your face, that you need a huge audience, that you need to do all this crazy viral hacking every single day, and that is not the case. Going viral and actually building an audience actually has a back-end system, and you don't need to show your face either. I've been able to make over $5,000 passively as a complete beginner, and I had less than 7,000 followers on Instagram. So in all honesty, if you really want to scale this business, it's just a matter of you showing up every single day, putting in the work, having the right automations and strategies, and there's no reason for you to not make 5K or more passively. Because once again, we're selling digital products here, so it is extremely scalable. Whether it be that you create a product and you sell it infinite amount of times, and based on the sales and the feedback that you get, you reiterate it, change it up, make it better, and you price it more, you can keep selling it over and over and over again without you necessarily being in the trenches every single week. So the more content you create, the more products you create, the more problems you solve, the more money you make. So as I said before, you don't need a team, you don't need a huge audience, you don't need to get on calls, you don't need to deal with suppliers or logistics and all this crazy stuff. And it is 100% profit. You are creating these products and automating the entire process of crafting it with AI. So you're not spending any money on a graphic designer, or you're not getting a team to build it for you. You're creating this on your own in a matter of a few minutes, so the money goes 100% back to you. But we gotta pause it real quick because digital synthesis does have some disadvantages. The number one disadvantage that comes to my mind is the fact that it takes time to build. This is not like meme coins, for example, where you get rich overnight. This is something that requires time, effort, and energy, but the moment you have the right systems in place and you have the right foundations, you can work for like about 30 minutes to an hour a day and make 5K per month or more. Another thing that comes to mind is consistency. Consistency is key. If you're not consistently posting content, whether that be every single day or every single week, or you're not working on your ads every single day, every single week, it's gonna be very hard for you to actually get people to buy your product, because we're actually solving a specific problem for a specific group of people, but we can't do that if they don't know that they have a problem and if they don't know that we have a solution for them. And that's where marketing comes in. So if you're not working on the marketing on a weekly basis, it's gonna be hard for you to actually maintain the sales on the long term. That being said, digital synthesis, in all honesty, personally has been the one business model that allowed me to travel the world, quit my warehouse job, become debt free, and provide for my family while being a complete beginner. All I did was sell my expertise, sell my knowledge, sell my skill that I already had, enhance it with AI, and sell it as a digital product. So if you're watching this video and you're serious about becoming financially free, creating your job, providing for your loved ones, or having the ability to travel whenever you want, however you want, then I highly suggest digital synthesis. So to conclude this video, I'm going to rank digital synthesis as the best business model for beginners. If you're low on cash, you're low on time, and you really want something that is proven and guaranteed to make you passive income, I'm gonna give digital synthesis S tier, which in all honesty is the best tier there is. If you reach into this part of the video, thank you so much for watching. And if you're interested about learning more about this, or you have some questions and curiosities, check the video that I pinned above, or send me a DM on Instagram. The link is gonna be in the description. That being said, talk soon.